That's my little brag. I sacked Matthew Stafford in 2 games 6 times, so I never heard him talk trash at all.
Here's the question. Here's the question. Did you bark at him any of those times like you did when you did it?
All right, welcome in episode 4 of the Inner Circle podcast, where we have every corner covered. Zach Klein, T. France, Matt Ryan, Aaron Donald. Todd, I think our weekends compared to those two guys were pretty uneventful. I mean, he gets his number retired from his alma mater, and Matt has the most epic 50th celebration of all times. I think we're just a bunch of slackers, I think.
I mean, Matt, that was unbelievable. Aaron, what was your line right when we were starting to do this? Would you say shaved what?
I was asking him, what happened to the stash? You shaved it off already?
Man, that was a prop. There was no chance I could grow a mustache.
Hey,
I got to shout out Nate Burleson, though. He grew the mutton chops on the side. He didn't put anything on there. He had no props.
That was legit.
Coach Gower and I had plenty of props, and JB too.
That was unbelievable. That was really cool to see. Like,
good. Yeah, it was.
The graphics, the whole thing. Like, it was really...
Well, if you missed any of it, this is what it looked like.
This is my favorite part. Hold on.
Matt with the blonde hair.
Hold on. Wait for it.
I know exactly.
Oh, don't leave my man hanging. Oh, he does. Slow-mo.
I held it there for a while, too, and then just decided to go with the pat. Brent... Yeah, that was bad. I felt bad.
I was watching that live, and I was like, "Oh my gosh!"
I felt like I was hanging there for about 3 minutes, waiting for him to kind of turn to my side. But
that's the
shout out to Brent Musburger. He's the man. He
is the man. If you're just joining us on audio only, and you can't see this on YouTube or wherever you get your podcast, Matt was in the New York City headquarters for CBS, the NFL and CBS. They did this 50th anniversary show, and the legendary, the GOAT, Brent Musburger comes in. They're congratulating, they're giving him a high five, a lot of love, dapping him up, and Matt puts his hand out to shake his hand, congratulate him. And as you said, it felt like 3 minutes out there?
About 3 minutes. Brent left me hanging, but
he handled it in stride, Matt. I got to be honest.
You went
to the pat on the shoulder, just kept moving it.
That's live TV for you. That's live TV for you. It goes wrong sometimes, and it doesn't go as planned. But it was a blast. I got to give a shout out to Drew Kaliski, our producer on the NFL Today, and Bob Matina, the director, for putting that show together, and really the entire team. I mean, it was unbelievable the amount of work that went into trying to get that show on the air, and I think it came across really well. It was a ton of fun, for us on the show to do it, but I think a great tribute to Brent and Irv Cross and the group of folks that started it over 50 years ago.
It was amazing. It did come off great.
Great show.
Yeah,
it did.
Sure.
Really did.
How long were you in makeup for, and what did Sarah say?
So my makeup, Sarah laughed. My boys made fun of me. They told me I looked terrible, which is nothing new there, right? That's almost every week that I get that one. But they were all kind of laughing. What was crazy is, so I do another show prior to the NFL Today starting on the NFL Today Plus on Paramount. I just giving a shout out to all these different shows that I'm on. But so I did that show, and we were not in character. We were not in 1975. And so I finished up that. I got off of that show around 11:30. And we're on air. I mean, it's going at noon. And so I've got to change, put on that suit, get the wig on, basically glue that mustache together, get hair and makeup and all of that stuff done. I literally walked into that studio about 45 seconds before we went on air, which, Zach, I think you can speak to it. That is not normal, right? You're usually there, you're getting lighting, you're doing all kinds of different stuff. Yeah, mic'd up and all of that stuff. So I was coming in hot for that show.
You guys pulled it off, man. It was epic TV.
Yeah, it was awesome. And one more,
thank you guys.
In transitioning from that, I can't let us go by without talking about AD getting inducted into the Hall of Fame at Pitt. That's so overdue.
Let's go.
I literally, AD, I remember when you were at Pitt and I was recruiting you, and I met your mom. You were coming to play Georgia Tech. And I met your mom because she came to Atlanta, and I went to the hotel and met with her the night before, or maybe it was the morning of, I can't remember. And you had told me this isn't going to be a good game for me, Todd. You don't don't worry, because it's they do a triple option. It's just they chip, they cut me. I'm not going to do anything, and it's not going to be a good stat game. So you completely downplayed it. Had to be probably your best game you may have had in your entire college career. It was on TV. I was watching on TV, and it was just constant. I don't know what your stats were, but it was unbelievable. But I mean, your whole career was obviously ridiculous.
It was like 6 or 10 TFLs that day.
Yeah.
We were
That's
living in
not
the
bad.
backfield.
That's not bad.
They living in the backfield.
It was awesome. It was awesome.
Good times, baby. Good
Congrats,
times.
Congrats on that, man.
Appreciate
Well
it.
deserved.
Appreciate it.
How'd you find out?
So I knew about the Pitt Hall of Fame, but they surprised me last Monday. Last Monday with retiring my number at Pitt. Right, I was coming back from practice with my son. Obviously, I'm a defensive coordinator for my son's little league football team. So my wife come out and want to blindfold me. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, what's going on? I didn't know what was going. I didn't know what to think.
I don't think we're getting into that stuff on this show. Though. It just
So she blindfold me. I'm walking in. They take the blindfold off, and it surprised me with all the cameras and the AD being there and let me know they retiring my number 97. So that was a good day, man. Made my eyes water a little bit. Got to spend that time and take that in with my kids and my wife. So it was a special moment for sure, man. So
Really cool, man.
Congrats, brother.
appreciate it.
As for the NFL, man, some crazy stuff going on in week 3. The Eagles remain undefeated, 3-0, overcome a 19-point deficit. Got to give it up to my man, Jordan Davis. AD,
Big man.
You're a big fella, a big man running, the heaviest player, 336 pounds in NFL history to return a block kick 50 or yards or more for a TD. He topped off at nearly 19 miles an hour. When you were moving, what were you clocked at, you think, the highest?
I'm not sure. I have to look it up, but he was moving. He's a fast guy, an explosive guy, but you can see he wanted them 6 points, didn't he? He ain't slowed down at all. He ran all the way through.
AD, how hard is it, like, after a team like the Rams, obviously, they lose a game and they lose it in the way they did, and then you got to get on a plane, fly, 6 hours back to California? I assume Tuesdays are normal off days, but maybe because you're getting back late, so early/late on Monday, do you still get Monday? Do you get Monday off and Tuesday? It's a loss, so you know you're coming in. Like, how does that work, and what's the tone on the plane and all of that?
You still coming in on Monday. Anything that might start a little later, but Monday's in, still going Monday, but shit, just like anybody have to lose and take a 6-hour flight back, you're going to be miserable. That shit, I feel like they dominated the first half. They played great football, complete game in the first half of football, from offense to defense to special teams, man. It was clicking, me talking about the Rams, obviously. And then second half, they came out hot still. I think once the Eagles started to get A.J. Brown mixed into the game and, started doing things that, get the momentum, man. That's a part of the game, man. You got to play 4 quarters. It ain't over till it's over. They found the way to win, but it's a miserable ride. 6 hours, knowing you should have won that game and you fall short. It's one of them tough ones that you just keep replaying in your head, trying to think about the mistakes you made, things you did good, what you could have did better. And that's a lot of things that, me personally, that's how I would be. So I only could imagine, them guys been on that plane. I was telling my wife after the game, I said, I'm happy as hell. I ain't playing no more because I would have been mad as hell. I would have been wanting to fight everybody after that damn game, just mad, just grumpy as hell. That was a tough one.
So AD, you know so many guys in that locker room, and Sean, what? Take us into what is his messaging to the team after a game like that? Like how does he respond? How does he talk to the guys in the locker room, and how does he rally those guys on Monday?
I think he just talked about all the good things they did, right? They made a lot of mistakes to beat themselves, right? Things that they can clean up. And rather it happen early in the season than later in the season, because you got time to, really correct the mistakes that you made, right? The little things on special teams where that shouldn't happen, right? 2 blocked field goals, that's unheard of. So little things he talk about, obviously he going to pinpoint on that dominant first half. You're going to go on meetings Monday. Y'all going to have team meetings. Y'all going to have all that film broke down. Y'all go over some of that film, some of the good clips, the bad clips as a team. I think that's one thing I love about Sean, how he do it, right? Because he going to tell you when you do right, and when you do bad, he going to let you know in front of everybody. So it's about holding everybody accountable, right? So you trying to eliminate the little mistakes, man, because it's the little things in football, right, that can help you win a game or lose a game, man. And it's like everybody been saying for years, it's game of inches, right? It's 4 quarters of football. You can't be satisfied with, one half of dominant football and you don't do it the second half, because you got to play 4 quarters. So I think the messaging, what he typically do, what Sean do, is just he hang his hat on the good things they did, what they can build off. But, come that Monday meeting, I know it was a lot of these little mistakes that we can be better at. We should have won this game. We could have won this game, but we didn't. So we're going to fix it so it don't happen again, kind of things.
I think that's what great head coaches do, though, right? Is they go in there and they hold everyone to account. Like, I always thought it was so important, right? Like, if we were in the locker room or something like that and you screwed up in a game, like, I think it's important for Sean to go in and be like, hey, Aaron, this can't happen. Matt, you can't throw this ball. You can't make this decision. Because I think that trickles down into so many different guys in the locker room. There's no sacred cows, right? And I think that's one of the beautiful things in football. And that's why you see teams like the Rams. That's why they don't drop back-to-back games very often, you know, or the Lions, or, you know, we talk about different teams that are really good in the NFC. Philly, they correct the things, they hold people to account, and they get better.
Matt, you mentioned Philly. I mean, they've won all 3 of their games by a total of 14 points.
Yeah.
What does that do to the psyche of a team where they just say, hey, I don't care how close it is, man, we are going to get this thing. I think what was in 2012, your Falcons were 7-2, I think, in 1-score games. What do you remember most maybe about that run, and what does this do to a psyche of a squad where even if we're down 19, we have this belief that we're going to rock and we're going to roll and we're going to get this thing done in the end?
I think that's the word, is the belief, right? You know, when you're on a team like that and you find ways in games, even when you're not at your best, to figure out a way to get it done, I think that creates incredible belief. And you almost feel like it's inevitable. You know, it's inevitable that you're going to go out there and find a way to win. And the same can be true when you're on teams where it's, you know, it's fallen the other way, right? There's that sense of inevitability during the course of the game. But I think particularly when you get it early on in a season, like Philly has, so then it's, okay, we just need to get ourselves in position. I thought the coolest thing about that last game, though, was Philly opening up the offense. I think they're built in a way that, you know, they're going to run the football and play good defense and be physical. And they're only really going to open it up and air it out if they need to, right? And in that game, I felt like they fell behind. They felt like they needed to throw it. And they showed, like they did in the playoffs last year, that they can play that kind of game too. And I think wins like that, finding ways to win tight ball games, I think that breeds confidence throughout the year. And I wouldn't be shocked to see Philly, you know, win 13, 14, 15 games this season.
And they putting games together, right? Even through adversity games they ain't starting off how they want. They finding ways to win. That's what it's about. No matter how ugly a game is, as long as you win, that's the ultimate goal, man. And that's how you become that playoff, that championship team again, right? You got the good leadership, great coaching, and you put all that together with stacking on wins, man. That's going to be a lot to stop them. A lot to stop them, man.
I think Todd, and you can speak to this too, you know Howie well, but I think that it starts really at the top in that building of putting the roster together, finding the pieces that fit for it, and finding guys that are, like, I think he does probably as good of a job as anybody in the league of finding guys that are competitors. And that are not scared of the moment.
Yeah, I think Howie's relentless, right? I mean, he's relentless with how he does and how he approaches contracts in terms of creativity, in terms of being proactive, trying to get ahead of the market. Really well-respected GM, and then same thing with the roster development. I mean, he's out there and he's aggressive, whether it's, I mean, look how aggressive he is on draft day with trades. Look how aggressive he is in free agency. I mean, he looks at it from top to bottom, inside and out, uncovers every stone there is, and he does it the right way. And obviously the results are speaking loud, so good for him.
So I feel like watching the games up in the studio, you know, you get to see all, 10 or 12 games that are going on in that 1 o'clock window. And then, all of the games that are going on in the 4 o'clock window. The first 3 weeks of the season, the special teams have been crazy, right? We talked about the Jordan Davis block kick and taking it back to the house. But, the week prior, we had your boy Brandon Aubrey putting that thing through from 60 yards down the field. We've had back-to-back punt return followed by a kick return. First time like that's happened since 1991 or 92. And yet, special teams values are not what they are on the offensive side of the ball or the defensive side of the ball. And yet their impact on winning is just as significant. Todd, what's your thoughts there? Why is the value what it is at those special teams positions? It's
a great point. I mean, it just shows, right, that all three phases of the game matter. When people talk about all four quarters, it's sort of cliche, but they talk about all three phases, offense, defense, and special teams. And there's only so much money to go around. That's one thing, right? And they got to manage the cap and how much money they can put to each guy. And I think that, look, in the market for kickers, I feel like that's going to go up pretty significantly when Brandon Aubrey gets a contract. So that's going to be a good thing and for the special teams market. But you also have guys that are core special teams guys and guys that only do special teams. as opposed to like the Jordan Davises that we were just talking about, who plays on defense but also plays special teams and adds that versatility. Then you have a guy like Turpin, right, who's a receiver but also adds that value on special teams. Those guys can get premiums on their contracts for having that ability. But again, it's just a management of the cap, and the team's trying to figure out how to put the money, because yes, the teams matter, but so do corners, so do D tackles, so do the back end, so do the quarterback. I mean, just everything matters. So each team, to their own, but there's only so much to go around. I think it's on the agents to push that level and continue to push the barrier to try to get these guys maximized out, because obviously their role is huge and determines the outcome of games.
Yeah. No, for sure. I mean, we had a guy in Atlanta, Eric Weems, who Todd and Zach, you guys probably remember, and AD, I'm not sure if you remember Eric Weems, but he was, he wasn't a kicker, he wasn't a punter, he wasn't like a true specialist, but he was an absolute nightmare for other teams on special teams, whether it was gunner on the outside, returning kicks for us. He played very little offense, but I probably played 8 years with Eric, 8 or 9 years with Eric. He had 2 stints with us in Atlanta, but guys like that can hang around, for a long time. And he won us ball games. I mean, I remember against Tampa returning a kickoff, like at the end of the game when we needed it. I think Tampa was wearing their creamsicles. Those guys are huge, man. And it's been interesting to watch.
Educate me on this, guys, because I know at the University of Georgia, for Kirby and his special teams, you're not on special teams unless you're a starter. Like, it's the best of the best, the Jordan Davises, the elite wide receivers, the best athletes that he has are playing on special teams. It's not like that consistently in the National Football League. So is that an injury thing, Todd and Matt and AD, where you don't want, you're worried about guys getting hurt? There's more value to your guys doing multiple roles? Why wouldn't you maybe convince them, hey, why don't you go be a gunner or a returner or something like that?
Matt, go ahead on that.
Yeah, I think it starts with the roster size, right?
Yeah.
You've got 46 guys basically active on Sundays, and you've got, I don't know, what do they got, 90 guys dressed up
At least, yeah.
at UGA, and you go down to the second level, third level, fourth level, they're all 5-star recruits, 4-star recruits that are there. And so they've got depth at Georgia to be able to, play offense and special teams, and if something happens, we can kind of pluck somebody else. I think in the NFL, you've got to really be protective of guys, when you've only got 46 active. But you got a handful. I mean, most guys play some sort of special teams. AD, I'm sure, field goal block or different parts. You were in there, man. You were going. You weren't going to be on, kickoff return, those kind of things. But you're going to push the pocket or try and go block a kick or something like that, right?
Yeah, for sure. Definitely early in my career, field goal block. As I got a little older in the league, they kind of took me off there because they didn't want me to get injured or something like that, right? I think a lot of that go into like the politics of football. If you're paying this guy X dollars to play defense, you don't want to put him on special teams and mess around and get him hurt. You got to think a lot of these guys is making a team off being on special teams, right? Them guys is flying down 100 miles per hour, ready to foaming out the mouth to go hit somebody because that's the only play they got. And they dominate at that, right? They don't got to be a star defensive player to do that, because you got guys that made the NFL roster solely off what he did on special teams, and this is his job.
Well, think about like Zach Bond in Philadelphia, right? Starts his career primarily as a special teams player, and then
he gets
into that. Exactly, and gets his opportunity and turns into an All-Pro. I mean, that's kind of the entry point for a lot of players, like you said.
So you got to earn certain things, man. You start there, then you work your way up. As long as you can keep being consistent, making plays, keep understanding the playbook, keep getting better, your opportunities is going to come. You just got to take advantage of that.
AD, did you have to go to all the special teams meetings, or did you kind of just specifically? I went to one special teams meeting a year, the first one during training camp, and then I never saw another special teams meeting the entire year.
So early in my career, we really didn't have to go, and then later the coaches kind of like started making us kind of go. But I'm like, all I got to do is push somebody back and put my hand up for the field goal block, right? So I used to get a little, because I'm trying to be in there watching my film while they doing all that, and I got to take my time to go out there for like 10 minutes just to go, all right, knock back, put your hands up, things like that. So it's to annoy me a little bit, but,
Shout out to the special teams guys, because when I first got to Atlanta, when we still had 2-a-days and kind of back-to-back padded practices, those kind of things, like every third day, Mike Smith would have just a special teams practice in the afternoon. And, I didn't have to go. So I'd be back in those dorms that are behind Flowery Branch, like laying in my bed, chilling. And I'd hear the whistles rolling out there. And, like special teams practice turns into a track meet. And these guys already have dead legs. And they're out there running for like 90 minutes. Keith Armstrong's crazy ass, our old special teams coach, would be out there running those guys. And I always felt bad, but not that bad.
because on the extra points or field goals, because then maybe it could give them an option to throw the ball on a trick play or something like that?
Yeah, I mean, no, I was.
Hell no.
Yeah, no.
Hell, they better not.
But you do see some
what?
quarterback.
Yeah,
Our franchise quarterback.
I was our backup holder for a long time, and then when Matt Schaub came, he had held at a number of different spots, and so he became like our backup holder. I remember I held one time in practice for Matt Bryant, and he was like, "Dude, that's terrible." He's like, "You're not like get somebody else. You're not doing this."
That's like when you were a kid, like when you hold it and like you're afraid the kid's gonna kick your finger.
Right?
Like,
Yeah.
That would
Take
be
that
me.
thing off.
I would be nervous as hell. That would be me. Scared as hell. You better not kick me. I'll be threatening to kick you. You better not kick my fucking finger. Know that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Matt, your boy Matthew Stafford, man, 2 more touchdown passes. He's got one on you now, man. You could talk shit on the golf course. You got him at a lot of things in life. But on the all-time passing lists in the National Football League history, Matthew Stafford currently one more than one Matthew Ryan. You all right with that, bud?
No, man, that's my guy. I'm proud of him. I'm happy for him. He's had a hell of a career, that's for sure, and doesn't seem to be slowing down. I know the back injury was a big concern, but he looks like he's moving well. He looks like he's feeling good, and doesn't look like he's slowing down. So congrats to Matthew. I remember when I went over 60,000 yards, Todd sent me a big bottle of champagne with kind of this congratulations. I still have it in my bar down in the basement. We got to open it up at some point. Maybe we'll get the crew together, do a live show, and we'll open up and pop that champagne. But
There we go.
I guess I gotta find a bottle of champagne to send out to Matthew and congratulate him. But hey, top 10 in passing, yards and touchdowns for Matthew. That's a big deal, man. That's hard to do.
Future Hall of Famer. So he's got Big Ben Roethlisberger up next, Matt, 418, then Marino at 420, Phillip Rivers 421, and then you get in the 500s with Favre, etc. When his day is done, how many do you think Mr. Stafford throws in the National Football League?
All right, so what's he at? I honestly, I don't even know how many I had.
381 for you. He's at 382.
So he's got 40 touchdown passes to go to catch.
Roughly, yes. Roethlisberger.
Roughly 40. If he plays another season, I think he gets there. For sure. I mean, in his level of production and just his consistency. If he decides to play another year, I think he chases those numbers down. But we'll see. A lot can happen. You never know. But regardless of where he ends up, I mean, in my opinion, he's a no question first balloter. Right? Great player, incredibly tough. Just exactly what you want when you draft somebody number one, and you're looking for somebody to be the cornerstone of the franchise for a long time. You want guys like Matthew Stafford.
Was he obviously a big time competitor? And AD, you played with him, right? So any good stories? Like, did he talk smack at all during practice to you guys, or was he quiet? Like, what kind of player is he as a person?
No, Matt never talk stuff. You got to think I played with him on the same team, and I played against him. And when he was in Detroit, never talk stuff. I never heard him talking no trash. I always tell people this. I played Matthew 2 times when he was with Detroit. I got 6 sacks on Matthew. I got my first 6 sacks. I got my first 3-sack game in 2015 in St. Louis against him. And then we played in Detroit. I really got him 4 times, but they took one of my sacks away for a pass interference down the field. So that's my little brag. I sacked Matthew Stafford in 2 games 6 times. So I never heard him talk trash at all.
Here's the question. Here's the question. Did you bark at him any of those times like you did when you did it?
Listen, I probably did. I don't remember a lot. My football career, it's like a lot of stuff is a blur because I'm like in a moment and I be having them, like I say, them blackout moments where you just be in that moment and just however the emotions is, that's how they is. And certain things is said, certain things is done, but you really don't remember, right?
I think what we need to do is just go back and get like the unedited when you were mic'd up and just run it for, the 3 hours of the game just to hear what was coming out.
They might want to put me in jail, some of the stuff I said. I know I said some crazy stuff.
Don't do it.
The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, guys, first team ever with a game-winning score in the final minute of each of their first 3 games of the NFL season. I want to listen to Baker Mayfield after the 29-27 win over the Jets. Baker, if you guys remember, spent half that 2022 season with Carolina before going to hook up with LA and AD to finish out that year. And the coach that cut him was the current New York Jets defensive coordinator, Steve Wilks. So here is Baker Mayfield after the game.
I loved it. And it's also their D coordinator was the one that cut me in Carolina. So it was a lot of stuff was personal today. Hassan Reddick, former Jet, a lot of people.
Kept the receipts.
There you go. Do you see that?
He kept the receipts.
Like, Matt, what do you think's turned his career, or I don't want to say turn it around because he's always been a good player, but like taken him to another level. I'll use that word.
Like you said, number one, he was pretty good in Cleveland, right? He had good stretches in Cleveland. The end, maybe not great, but like the beginning was pretty good. And then bouncing around, finding his spot, had that cup of coffee with you guys in LA and came in and played that unbelievable Thursday night game. I think that, honestly, that was the one thing that kind of resurrected him getting a chance, was going in and being able to perform on, really an impossible situation, 2 days there and playing pretty well in that game. It was unbelievable. But I think number one, I think he's gotten to the point in his career where, how's the right way to say it? Like, he cares the appropriate amount, right? Which is, he doesn't give a shit about, what people are saying about him and maybe he didn't at the beginning, but I think all of us get to a space where you feel more comfortable kind of dealing with the criticism. Yeah. And kind of understanding what you need to do to get yourself right. And then I think belief, I think Todd Bowles as a head coach, I think he's wildly underrated as a head coach. I think he's very good at what he does, but he's no nonsense. And I think that mix of Baker, being a no bullshit, kind of go out there, play hard, I think that fits with what Todd Bowles wants from his guys, right? And so I think kind of the fit of culture has been really good. And then guess what? Tampa has some pretty good wide receivers and have for a while, right? Like, the players around you matter. The offensive line, the wide receivers, the playmakers, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, that he's been able to play with for a while. And now Emeka Egbuka. I just think he's in the right position. He's surrounded by the right people, and he's at the right space in his life to be able to handle it.
Was this a perfect example then, Todd, of fit? Maybe that was the change, and the change of scenery helped him get to that other level where he could relax maybe a moment. And then when you're talking to your clients, when describing fit, when do you know it's time to pull the trigger and move on to some different location for the guys?
Listen, of course, fit matters and situation matters. And as Matt said, what's around you matters, whether you're a quarterback and it's the O-line and receivers or whatever it might be. I mean, I always I'll use this example as a story. So Leonard Floyd, Chicago Bears first round draft pick, right? And they don't give him his 5th-year option. They don't exercise it. So we're essentially a free agent after 4 years. And so, I'm his agent and I'm looking for opportunities, and I'm going on a 1-year prove it deal, right? And I'm trying to get the same amount of money that he would have had if he played under that 5th-year option. So from a money standpoint, I'm trying to do that. And I'm looking at different scenarios, and it came down to Seattle and the Rams. And I was like, you know what? AD gets double teamed and triple teamed. If I put Leonard Floyd as an edge guy in LA, this is going to put him in the best situation to succeed, talking about what's around you, right? So put him in LA as his first double-digit sack season. After that year, after the season ended, we did a 4-year deal for, $65 million or something like that. He absolutely crushed it. And so there's a perfect example of a guy who in Chicago, it wasn't working, so much so that they didn't even exercise the 5th-year option. But funny story, obviously, fast forward, he's now in Atlanta. The assistant GM in Atlanta was the GM in Chicago that drafted him.
Pace.
Well, yeah, Ryan Pace, exactly.
Yeah.
And that drafted him, who's now in Atlanta, and brought him back to Atlanta. And he's like sort of coming around to, the end of his career, finishing out in Atlanta, back home, Georgia Bulldog, all that kind of stuff. So it's kind of interesting, but yes, 100% situation matters. And when you're looking at 1-year prove it deals or kind of knowing your times at the end, like how do you resurrect? A guy like that's got the talent. Baker obviously has the talent. He just needed to be in the right situation, and here he is, and that's where it is.
All right, guys, the Colts and DJ, Daniel Jones, Jonathan Taylor. 103 points through 3 games. Are they the number one team that just getting no respect right now? No one's really talking about these guys.
I mean, I feel like people are talking about them.
You think so?
Yeah, we are.
I think everybody's talking about.
I think so.
I don't know. The Eagles,
Of
the
the
Chiefs,
undefeated teams. Of the undefeated teams.
You got Daniel Jones, right? He's there. They're putting up all these points. How hard is it, like, for a quarterback? I mean, I know you were basically in Atlanta the whole time, and then did 1 year in Indianapolis. But how hard is it for a quarterback to go to a new team, learn the offense, get the timing down with everyone, have the confidence, just the whole thing, to be doing what they're doing right now? Again, it's a long season, but regardless of the success or failure at it, it's got to be a huge adjustment.
Huge adjustment. And like, hats off to Daniel for the way he's played and how the Colts in general have played. Like, I think I think it's the thing I've been surprised with is just the explosive plays, right? The big plays that they've had in the passing game down the field. I feel like sometimes, those are the things, it takes a little bit of time to find a rhythm with guys, just timing and landmarks and those things, but they've had people open. But even when he has put up like contested throws, guys are making plays on the ball. So I think it's difficult to come in and have that kind of success as fast as they have. But I mean, like, he's done it. And I give him credit. I give Shane Steichen credit. I give the entire organization credit. We're talking about Anthony Richardson should be starting. They drafted him number 3, and they're going through training camp and looking at it and finally came to the decision, like, no, Daniel puts us in the best position to win. We're going to make that decision, even though it may be unpopular. And it's worked out really, really well so far. The fact that I think they've putted once in 3 games and have no turnovers. So, obviously we've seen Indy's offense rolling. AD, I'm always curious from a defensive perspective, like when you're on the sideline or you're on a team where the offense is just humming and firing on all cylinders, how do you not take the foot off the gas, on the defensive side of the ball? What are you telling the boys, like, what do we got to do to kind of go out there and, not lose track of what we're trying to do?
I think you're just telling guys to be locked in. You talk about they scored 103 points in 3 games. So as a defensive lineman, you're thinking, I'm going to have a lot of pass rush opportunities. So to pin my airbacks to get them sack numbers up too. So you just telling guys to be locked in. And then when you got an offense that's rolling, man, I think the defense get to have some fun, right? You get to, be a little bit more aggressive with doing some things, definitely up front as a defensive lineman. My mindset is always finding ways to be in the backfield, to attack the quarterback, right? That's similar to when we was in 2018. I feel like our offense was rolling. We were scoring a bunch of points. We was having leads to the point where we got to rush the passer a lot, and them sacks is going to come in bunches, right? So them was them fun seasons, I think. When you got an offense that's hot like that, that's on fire, I think that should push the defense, that should motivate the defense.
I think on the other end of the spectrum, right, you've got like the Dallas Cowboys defense, right? And so we go from like Indy, the offense is rolling. How do we keep it going on that defensive side of the ball? But then you go to Dallas and it seems like they can't stop anybody. So if you're on a defense like that, like what are you saying? Like, how do you get that turned around? What is the first thing you do when your defense is struggling to just stop the bleeding and get it turned around?
So what I'm doing, I'm going to my defensive line coach. I'm in his meeting room, but I'm going to our defensive coordinator, having conversations and trying to create something or find something or seeing if whoever the weak link is, what we got to do to change that or replace that, because the ultimate goal is trying to find ways to be successful to help win. And if guys ain't getting it done, I don't give a damn how much you pay somebody or what it is. We got to figure something out because it's going to be a horrible season. It ain't going how I want to be, and you got to do something to change things around, right? So I'm having conversations with the defensive coordinator. Talking, I'm in the meeting room trying to come up with game plan, scheming things up, whatever I can do to help. And obviously, as a leader in that defense, that started at practice, right? I'm bringing all the guys up, and we're going to have a conversation. We're going to talk. We got to pick this shit up. We got to be better, right? And like I talked about, Hashan in the defensive meeting rooms, going through the bad film, right? Holding people accountable. I don't give a damn who it is, calling them out. Hey, we can't have that on this defense. You got to be better or you ain't going to be out there. I don't give a damn how much we paid you, where you was drafted at. If this guy that's a free agent got a better chance to make that play than with the guy that was a first-round pick, then that's who's going to be there. I understand politics and football, but the ultimate goal is to trying to find ways to win. And I think it started in meeting rooms. It started on the practice field with the leaders speaking up, people accountable. I'm big into people accountable. You got to hold them accountable. You got to find ways to get your guys going, man, because it don't look good at all right now with that defense, man, at all.
No, it doesn't look good.
I know they lost a big piece of the puzzle with Micah, but golly, that's one guy, man. That's one guy.
They give us 24 to the Eagles, 37 to the Giants, 31 to the Bears, Matt. So, I mean, there's always pressure on Dak. How much more pressure is there on him right now, knowing that the defense is giving up north of 30 a game? And what are you saying to him to kind of get him through these, tough early moments when he feels, one would think from the outside, that he has to score every single drive?
I mean, I feel like if you play quarterback long enough, you go through stretches like that, right? Like, I feel like that happened to us in Atlanta where, and it's no shade to anybody on our defenses, but like there were games, it just felt like, okay, this is going to be 48-45, right? And we've got to find a way to score every time we touch the ball. I don't think you shy away from it, right? Like, to me, you can't shy away from the fact that this is the reality of who we are, right? And so if they're not getting stops, that's not our problem. Our problem is we got to find ways to score every time we touch it. And I don't believe you should shy away from that as a quarterback. And Dak's not, right? Like, Dak's not going to blink about this. He's going to go out there. He's going to continue to compete and find ways to score every time he touches it. But, like, I don't think you should shy away from that. And I wouldn't, when I was talking to players, to be like, F it. Like, let's go score every time we touch it and see what happens. And if we get the ball last, we're going to win. And that was kind of the mindset that we would have from an offensive standpoint.
Todd, you got a rookie running back at Cleveland that had his first touchdown this week, right? What you calling him? What you saying to him, right? What you doing? What you doing?
Obviously he's had success his first 2 games. He missed training camp, dealing with some off the field stuff that we were working on. But at the end of the day, I'm telling him you're just scratching the surface. It's got to be a huge motivator. You got to be so excited about the potential. Based on what you've done. That this last game was his real first full game. He's just getting his feet under him. I think the sky is the limit, so I think that he should be fired up about that. At the same time, I think you got to understand about it's a long season, how to take care of your body, how to focus on all the little things and that type of stuff. But from a confidence standpoint, he should have all the confidence in the world. Like, you've been there now, you've seen what it's about. You played against a great team and you had a great game. So I think that'll be awesome for him. I think he's not only a great player, but he's a great kid. And so I'm excited to see what he's going to be doing for the whole season and his whole career.
Pretty good win for Cleveland too, man.
Oh my gosh.
Awesome win. Their defense, talk about 99 problems, and you called it week 1, man. Myles Garrett, he's not one. That defense is,
I think they got one of the best defenses. Yeah, I think they got one of the best defenses in the league right now, man. Them Eagles looking good, but golly, they looking solid, man. That defense is keeping them alive, though, for sure. Playing some great ball.
Yeah, the Browns have a 1-2 record, the same record as the Falcons guys, who just got utterly embarrassed. One of the worst performances I've ever seen from this football team. They lose by 30 on the road in Carolina. Michael Penix, did not finish the game. He was 18 of 36, $172, no touchdowns, 2 interceptions, including a pick 6. Here's Raheem Morris after the game when asked why he got rid of Michael Penix and put in Kirk Cousins.
You move on, keep them out of harm's way, keep our guys out of harm's way, take a couple players out. We had to take some of those wideouts out, we had to get the young back in, get all those things going. The game's out of hand, they got us.
Will you give Kirk a chance to compete for the job this week?
No.
Flat out says no chance that Kirk Cousins will have an opportunity to compete for the job. I have a problem with that.
So Zach, in a typical media fashion where you overblow things and all that type of stuff,
overblow things?
I'm just saying in general. What do you want to say to Raheem? I don't know if were you at that press conference or that was away probably.
I was not. It was in
So you weren't there. When you get in front of him this week, what do you want to ask him, or is it Penix? Like, what do you want to know? What do you want to say? I know you got to have stuff on your mind after that.
Why can't Cousins compete for a job? You just told he cannot compete for the starting job. Your kicker's Matt's shaking his head right now. So I want to know that.
What are we doing?
Okay, and my second thing is,
hey Matt,
of all the problems you had,
roast him.
Of all the problems that you guys had in this game, where the defense couldn't stop anything, Bryce Young looked like he was back in college just torching everything. The offense was awful. Your star running back, who a week before you said that Bijan Robinson, this is Raheem, was the greatest player in the National Football League. He got 13 touches. And then what do? You fire your wide receiver coach. So of all the things that you had to fix, the wide receiver coach was the problem. So I want to know those 2 things. Why can't Cousins compete? And why'd you fire a wide receiver coach? Matt, tell me I'm wrong.
So, like, what kind of competition do you think is going to happen at practice this week at the quarterback position? Like, he had his opportunity. He played last year and showcased, what he did, and he had his chance. And they felt like that was a different thing. I think playing these games, when you're playing games, here's the bottom line. When you're playing games with your quarterback position, after you've drafted somebody top 10 overall, you got a great chance of screwing this up 6 starts into it when you start playing games like that. All right. So you're making decisions about what you want the organization to be like moving forward. You don't overreact to one horrible loss.
Exactly.
And it was horrible.
Unless you're in the media.
To one horrible loss. It's about continuity. It's about growing this guy as you're moving forward. It's been 6 starts.
You're
going to have a bad one.
I'm not ripping Penix at all. Yes, it's been 6 starts, and give the guy some patience. I'm with you for that. My problem is he's telling me he can't compete for the job. All I hear about is
there is no competition. That's what I'm saying. You're not going out there at practice. Yeah. There's a bad game.
So what happens if Penix gets hurt and then Cousins comes in the game and lights it up?
That's a different story.
Before he got hurt last year, he was amazing. So now it's different?
That's a different story.
But this is the problem they were going to have when they had the two quarterback situation a year ago. You knew we were going to get in this situation.
Okay, Zach, so Browning plays well in Cincinnati. Burrow comes back. Burrow's not the starter.
He was never brought in as the starter, though, Todd. He was always going to be the backup. Cousins was always going to be the starter until he got hurt in the Saints game last year and shit the bed. He was the offensive player of the week 2 out of 3 weeks last year.
Let me ask you a question here, Zach.
Talk to me.
Stay in the media.
If you're the head coach of the Atlanta Falcons, are you having a competition for who's going to play quarterback this week?
No, of course not.
Exactly.
But I'm saying something about it's always a competition.
You know what he is?
I don't like the answer.
He just pokes the bear. He's just the meat. They just click, 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 click. Just poke.
No. All I hear is you talk to these coaches all the time. You talk to Nick Saban. You talk to Kirby. You talk to all the best. Everything's about competition. Iron sharpens iron. We got to get everybody better. And then all of a sudden, I've never heard a coach that there's no competition for the starting job.
Well, he's a starting quarterback. You don't want to say that, and then your guys hear that. And you don't know what's going on inside that locker room with the coaches being fired. We outsiders looking in, so we don't know what's really going on inside the building.
For sure, no doubt.
If they got they starting quarterback, right? He didn't perform. They lost horrible as a team. I know he ain't played great, but you don't want to go straight to after the game, ask him, is it an open job for the quarterback position? No, we got our starting quarterback. We trust who we got. You don't want to call it you don't do that off of one bad game. You
guys, moving forward, it's going to be the 3 of us doing this podcast. I'm just kidding. No, it's a good question for you, Zach. I'm sure you do want to know.
No, listen, it's a fair. I get it from both sides. It's a fair question. It's definitely a fair question, and I think his response is fair as well.
1,000%. I hear what you're saying. I want to then break this down for me. One more Raheem Morris, because last week on this podcast, Matt, when you were talking about Mike McDaniel, the head coach for the Miami Dolphins, and you were discussing body language, leadership, what it's all about to own that moment and be the CEO of the team. So after the Falcons' 30-0 loss, there was the camera that caught Raheem afterwards with big smiles, hugging the opposing player and coaches. Now, to be fair, I have no idea what the previous relationships were with Raheem and the guys on the Panthers. To be fair, I don't know that at all, but there's been a lot of criticism toward Raheem about just knowing the moment. You guys just got your ass lit up on TV, and this is the reaction. So I want to play you what it looked like and what the national audience was able to see from Raheem after the game. And if you were a player who just got embarrassed, and here's your head coach, there he is, dapping up guys. And we see this, after things go down, the players dap everybody up, they swap jerseys. But here's your head coach right there.
Let me say this.
Talk to me here.
Let me start with the first guy that he's shaking hands with is Kevin Winston. Kevin Winston was our player development director in Atlanta for maybe, 12 of my 14 years there. And so Raheem knows him well. And this is the thing I think sometimes often gets overblown, right? Is we have relationships that might be closer with people on other teams than we do with some of the people that are in our own organization, given time spent with them at different stops, given backgrounds that we have. Maybe you played with somebody in college, whatever. So, I mean, it doesn't drive me crazy seeing something like that. I don't think that was over the top, like, ha, hee, hee. Like, it was saying hello to somebody that you spent a lot of time with. So that part doesn't, drive me crazy. And we see it more now than ever, right? You see players swapping jerseys after hard losses. Like, that was never my thing, but I think that's part of what the NFL is now, right? We see it, the game's over, there's nothing you can do. I guarantee you, though, Raheem, just because he smiled and dapped somebody up, dapped Kevin up and another player right there, he's pissed. I think it's different shaking somebody's hands after the game, saying hello to them, even after you've gotten your ass kicked, than, what Mike McDaniel was doing in front of the camera when he was being asked questions. I think those are two very different things.
And I could say this about Raheem because that was my D coordinator for a bunch of years, and I won a Super Bowl with that guy. I got a great relationship with him. That's just his personality, right? Just because you see he's always smart. He's not worried, right? I know everybody else we got 30-0, and he's gonna do what he need to do. He's confident in the guys he got. He's gonna correct the things he need to correct. He's gonna hold people accountable, and he's gonna get it done. Don't let that smile fool you. Do not let that smile fool you. That's just who he is. Do not let that smile fool you at all.
I think the other thing, Zach, too, is I don't think body language or carrying himself, however we want to say it, is an issue for Raheem Morris. I think people feel his energy, like AD was saying, the positivity. So
Without question.
I think it's apples and oranges of kind of the two
No,
that
it's
we're
more.
comparing.
It's what I hear.
But
and
I
listen,
get you. I get it.
Yeah, it's more of hey, you're an Atlanta Falcon fan. Your whole week is wrapped up in, as you guys know, this 4 hours. You've invested every one of your waking dollars to this franchise. You're emotionally spent, and then you see the head coach smiling after the game.
So are you more pissed? Are you more pissed that he smiled and shook somebody's hand after the game, or put together a plan that got their ass kicked by 30?
Probably the latter, for sure.
I think I'm more pissed that they got their ass kicked
and that's
by 30.
why I'm not judging at all. To be personal, I was curious. Say, as a player, what would happen if you saw your head coach?
I hear you.
100%. We got two more things, and then we're going to wrap up episode 4. And by the way, we appreciate everybody listening, so make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, tell a friend. It's been a lot of fun through this first month of the process. I want a little bit of a hot mic. We got Brian Dable after an 0-3 start, and 2 more interceptions from Russell Wilson. Dable was asked about the future of Jackson Dart, so here's Dable after the game.
Look, Jackson's progressing well. We'll continue to work with him. I got a lot of confidence in him, his development that he's had, and that's what we'll continue to do. Look, I'd be booing too, to be honest with you, in terms of not being good enough. No, not scoring, not finishing. I understand that. That's the nature of it.
Boo boards are out.
Yeah. I've been on record before saying that I think they should be playing Jackson. I'm a big believer in that game experience is the most important thing you can get as a young quarterback, right? Understanding how the game's playing out, the speed, getting yourself prepared, finding out what works, what does not work. I think there's so many valuable lessons to there. And it's really, like, I want to be clear about this. This isn't a shot on Russell Wilson either. I think he's done some good things. Certainly, had a huge performance against Dallas the week before, but it has nothing to do with Russ, who I like and I competed against for a long time. I just think when you draft somebody early, and it kind of goes back to the discussion we had about Kirk and Michael Penix, and is there any competition, right? I think when you draft somebody early, the sooner you can find out and number one, what you have, but also see the growth and progression, the closer you are to competing for championships, right? I think, high-end quarterback play is at a premium in our league, and you got to find out if you have that guy, and you've got to try and develop them as quickly as you can.
Russell Wilson, just your starting guy, and you the agent of the backup rookie quarterback. What you telling him? What are you telling him? You tell him anything to just keep him motivated, keep him prepared, keep him ready?
Yeah, I'm telling him it's coming. Stay ready and be ready for when that time does get called, because when they come your way, we want to be no looking back. So prepare like you're the starter, get ready to play, keep your mind in the game, and prepare all week like you are that guy. And even if you don't play, and I have to say the same thing over 3 and 4 weeks, it's like Matt said earlier, you got to prepare like you're playing, and learning how to prepare is part of the process as well, not just playing. And it's all of these little things that all contribute to when you are playing, being a good player. So yeah, just keeping his mind right, keeping him positive, being supportive, doing all the extra things, staying late, spending more time with the coach, more film breakdown, everything under the sun like that, because it's coming, like Matt said, whether it's at the end of the season or even for next season, or if it's in 2 games from now, it's coming. So be ready, because the last thing you want to do is, I know you're fired up to play, and when you do get called, you're not ready. That would be very frustrating.
Mm-hmm.
Before we get to the 2-minute drill, we have only one this week, Real Talk. Todd, you want to take us into this?
Yeah, the Real Talk one question. I just want to know, like, 3, 4, 5, 6, and
Yo, silly as hell.
So let's. Hey, we can't just.
We got to get the other side.
We got to
Even
go
it
both.
out.
We got to stay proportional.
Even it out.
Oh, man.
So here's my question. All right, I want to know. So you're down there working out. Erica comes down and tells you have to do something or whatever. And so you just say, hey, honey, get down on the ground. I'm going to curl you while we talk. Or is this like a conversation at dinner last night where you're like, hey, honey, let's do an Instagram video tomorrow, and I'm going to go ahead and do some shoulder shrugs / curls with you. I need you to get on your back, like play like you're a dead bug, and I'm just going to lift you. Like, what in the world? How does that even happen?
So listen. All right, the night that was funny as hell. The night before, we in the room. My wife was like, she was showing me this something on, I think it was TikTok or Instagram. It was a challenge somebody was doing. It's like, look, I'm like, he's strong as hell. He's picking his wife up like that. She said, do it. I'm like, I ain't doing all that. I'm tired. So I did it last night, and I'm like, oh, this shit easy as hell. So she wanted to work out with me the next day, and I'm down there. I'm feeling good. I already got a cardio workout. I'm in the gym feeling all strong. So I said, she came to work. I said, I'm going to do my set. I'm going to use you this time, though. And I just did it like that. So it was her showing me something on, I think it was TikTok or something on social media that's trending or something. So I just tried it, did it, and it it worked.
So most people, like when they do buys, they do like, hammer curls. They do that. Is that now like one of your curl deals? Like that's for moving forward, or is that just a one-time deal?
I don't know yet. We might implement it in a workout or something like that.
Can't wait till your mom comes to visit you and you're benching her. It's gonna be unbelievable.
The AD Erica TikTok trend. I love it.
You know who we got to talk about from the Vikings? We ain't talk about Isaiah Rodgers.
Hey, what a day.
Oh, my gosh, what a day.
Huh?
A dominant performance in the first half. First half. 2 touchdowns, 2 forced fumbles. Oh, my, what a day. I just felt like we got to show some love to him, put some light on that guy. 2 defensive touchdowns. 1 was a pick 6. 1 was a forced fumble that he caused, picked up and scored. Another big forced fumble, and that was all in the first half that I seen. So I just wanted to give some love to Isaiah Rodgers. Putting on a day, one of the best performances I've seen from a guy like that on the defense side of the ball in a long time. So I just want to take my hat off to him. A lot of respect. What a day.
Salute.
Hey, keep it up, man. Keep it up, man. Keep it up. Hey, clap it up, fellas. Will y'all give him some love?
We give him some
all in the
salute.
first half? What a day.
Well done.
What a day.
It's a good half of football.
A great
Coming
half.
off that, close us out with some 2-minute drill. What do we got?
All right, here we go. Order is going to be, let's start with AD, then we'll go Zach, and then Todd. All right, ready? Clock's on. Let's go. All right, AD, you got to choose. Number 97 that's recently retired or number 99. What is your favorite number?
99. I would say 99.
99?
99.
You identify as number 99.
Yeah, 99. Obviously 97 is what we started with, but 99 was able to, cement that legacy. So 99.
One quick follow-up. Did you choose 97 at Pitt, or was it given to you?
So I wore 59 in high school, 59 my freshman year. We had new coaching staff my sophomore year, and it was like, you gotta pick a 90 number. And 97 was open because Jabal Shear was my guy, one of my veteran guys that was there my freshman year, so I had to represent Jabal Shear with 97.
Okay.
That's why.
I gotcha. Okay, I felt like that deserved a follow-up. Congratulations. All right, Zach, you're up. Are we having an open competition this week for a new host of this show?
It's always a competition, Matt. Anytime anybody wants to come in and bring it, you got to bring your A game. You got to stay strong. I got great teammates protecting me and having my back always, but I always got to come and bring it every day. And if the coaching staff doesn't think I'm up for the challenge, then I will be replaced. But I got faith in my supporting cast that will lift me to the higher pastures.
Matt, one bad day, we shouldn't open up competition.
One bad day. Yeah. Todd.
Yes. No.
Would you be able to row Jill like AD did?
Yes, I think I could do it. I might try it.
There is
next time.
Zero chance.
Actually,
send me the video.
Why don't you and Sarah come?
I want that.
Why don't you and Sarah come over and I'll grab Jill, you'll grab Sarah, and we'll see how we do it. Yeah, for sure I could do it.
Excellent. AD, your left side of your back or your right side of your back stronger? Both look pretty even to me.
I would say right side, probably because I'm a righty. So I'd probably say right side.
Okay. Zach, you have to choose. We talked about special teams. This is the last question. You have to choose to be either a kicker, punter, or punt returner. What are you choosing?
Punter.
I
think opportunity for the field. I'm soft. I told you that I got a glass jaw. I'm gonna get my ass lit up. I don't want to get clocked and be knocked out for the games. Probably go putter. Yes.
Okay, pretty good. We went 216 today. Not bad, boys. Not bad.
That was
went a little over.
That was because of the follow-ups.
Yeah, that's right. AD deserved the follow-up on that.
Amen, man.
Congratulations, man.
I appreciate
it.
it.
That's a really cool honor.
I can't wait to get home and try the curl with Jill. Oh my gosh.
When is 99 getting retired in LA?
I don't know.
That's coming. I got a good feeling that's coming.
Hopefully.
That's coming.
We're going to see.
We'll eventually look forward to that. What else are we looking forward to, though, this weekend, gentlemen? Todd, start with you. I hope all my guys don't get hurt. I hope everybody stays safe.
That's fine. You say what you want to say. I'm looking forward to Zach rebounding this week and putting together a better show for next week for himself so he doesn't get booted from this show. That's what I'm looking forward to. Play fire with fire,
no
brother. Fire with fire.
Yeah, that's right.
Go ahead,
That's right.
Matt and Aaron. What are you guys looking forward to?
You know what? I'm looking forward. We're going to the Kansas City. We're doing the NFL Today live from Kansas City this week. So heading out to the Kansas City-Baltimore game. I'm looking forward to being out there. Always a great atmosphere. And watching that game. 1-2 teams, right? Who would have said at the beginning of the year, Ravens and the Chiefs meeting in week 4, both teams will be 1-2. This is like, it's going to be two teams with their back against the wall, both trying to claw, scrap. Like, it's going to be a battle.
What's
it's gonna be
crazy
fun to
is
watch.
one of them going to end up 1-3, which is
correct.
Just, that's let's go.
Yeah.
Sound crazy.
AD.
How about you, AD?
Honestly, I'm a Isaiah Rodgers fan, so I'm looking forward to see what he do this week. After a dominant defense performance, I want to see what he can do, man. He caught my attention, so all eyes on him this week. I'm going to see what he can do this week with the Vikings, man. So, let's see.
That's fantastic.
I like it. How about you, Z?
I'm looking forward to Packers Cowboys. I'm looking forward to Micah's return. I want to see that emotion.
I forgot about that.
Right?
Oh, I forgot about that. Okay.
We have plenty to talk about next week.
Yeah, that's one of the ones I want to see too. All right, Vikings and the Cowboys game too. Cowboys-Packers game I'm excited about this week. Appreciate that, Zach.
I appreciate you, AD. Congrats again on the unbelievable honor. Matt, well done with the mustache.
Unbelievable.
Todd, I still love you. Episode 4 in the books, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for hanging out with us on the Inner Circle. We'll see you next week, everybody.